the information desk to meet with your family members. Thank you.
Atención, por favor. Raúl Quintanilla. Raúl Quintanilla, por favor, venga a la información. Raúl Quintanilla, me están esperando la información.
How do you do it, Mr. Dyke? Mr. Dyke.
I was in Panama and it was cold.
Wow, man. You guys are the best married couple that I've seen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I'm glad all's well. You're looking good.
I'm going to talk to you guys. Julio, pick my door as soon as you get to it.
It hits home with them. They can relate to it. There's all these different kids and all these different stories that can come up. I think that was refreshing to the public.
Today, Willie Ames was mourning his TV dad.
I'll miss him. You know, Dick was the best. He was just the best. You know, he was always upbeat.
Do you want another pillow?
Dick would always get us together on the set, and he would say, I want you to remember these days, gang, because these are the good old days.
Castmate Susan Richardson was devastated when the news broke of Dick's passing. Today, we spoke to her at her campground home outside of Philadelphia.
Absolutely heartbroken. I mean, I knew it was going to happen sometime, you know, but you're just not prepared. I just can't say enough about him. He's going to be missed by the world.
It was complications from diabetes that took his life. Our last interview with him was just last year at the gala reunion of the Love Boat.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dick Van Patten.
It was my favorite job. I've been on so many shows, but this was my favorite.
Silly fools. How are you?
I wanted to thank everybody for giving me that response because this is the first time.
Don't get carried away by that, John. 90% of this audience is insane. I mean, we caged them in here. No, they're really nice people.
Yeah, but it's nice to sing when there's a lot of affinity going on in the air, you know?
Affinity? Is it still here? Gal over here, as I introduced you, said, I didn't know he sang. Now, a lot of people don't know that. What is your background for that sort of thing?
Well, I'm from New Jersey, which is back east.
A lot of singers from New Jersey, yeah.
And in order to survive in New York City as an actor, you had to learn how to sing and not dance.
Were you in Greece?
Yeah, I was in Greece.
That was a 50s thing, though.
That's right. Yeah, I had fun doing that.
What other things did you do of a singing nature?
Well, you know, summer stock theaters, which are summer theaters that do lots of musical comedies. I did a show on Broadway called Over Here, which is a 40s kind of thing. But in order to do that, you have to sing. So I took voice lessons for like 2 or 3 years.
You do commercials?
Oh, I did a lot of them. I did a lot of them.
Medley your career. Come on, do medley your commercial. Barry Manilow came here one day and sang all of his commercials, which gets a standing ovation. What's your biggest desire in life? What do you hope eventually to accomplish?
Well, I'm working on a movie now called Carrie.
You mean you're writing it?
No, I'm in it.
I beg your pardon, I didn't know this. Yeah. Tell me about it.
And I'm very excited about it because it's the first time in a movie I've been able to act, and it's a serious dramatic role, and I've done a lot of comedy. And I think I'd like to get into that area a little bit.
This is more of a serious nature than funny stuff. What is it called again?
It's called Carrie. It's a novel now. It's being made into a book.
How do you spell Carrie?
Joining me now is Senate Democratic Whip and Judiciary Committee member Dick Durbin. I was wondering what's your blood pressure during that exchange?
It's hard to imagine. You know, it used to be the Senate Judiciary Committee. Now it's the Senate History Committee. Now we're going back in the earliest days of the Trump administration to try to rehabilitate General Flynn's reputation. Here's what happened. When Obama discovered what the Russians were up to, he proposed sanctions, and then he sat down with the legislative leaders, the congressional leaders. It was Senator McConnell, the Republican leader, said, I don't want to join in any bipartisan statement. End of effort toward bipartisanship. Well, I can just tell you this. We knew what they were up to. At least it had a suspicion, but it wasn't until after the election that all the details came through.
We understand from Bill Barr, the Attorney General, last week during his testimony that the so-called Durham investigation is going to be released, relitigating a lot of this, targeting some former administration officials, released before the election. Do you think that this, when it is released and however they describe it, will damage the Biden campaign.
Well, I
Is that
can
what the
just tell you,
intention?
I don't think America's voters are going to focus on what happened 3 and 4 years ago and who pointed a finger at whom and whether it was Comey's fault or Mueller's fault or somebody else's fault. For goodness sakes, that's ancient history at this point. The important question is who's going to...
It's a friendly atmosphere here. Well, good afternoon. I'm happy to be here this afternoon to present my nominee to be Secretary of Defense, Congressman Dick Cheney of Wyoming. Dick is a widely respected man of principle, served his country with distinction for many years. I've known him as a Chief of Staff, government manager, all under President Ford, 75 and 76. I worked with him closely since he's been a part of the Republican leadership. In both the executive branch and in Congress, he's dealt with the problems of national defense. He struggled with the budget, certainly as every president has to do, and he's weighed the difficult national defense priorities that have come before the Congress. He's been a member of the Intelligence Committee for, I think, 5 years and a leader of that in that area. I've heard his thinking on arms control, Central American policy, strategic defense posture, and on the difficult challenges that he knows he faces of reforming procurement process in the Pentagon. He's a thoughtful man, a quiet man, a strong man, approaches public policy with vigor, determination, and diligence. And this afternoon, we discuss the defense needs of this nation and the heavy responsibilities that go with being Secretary of Defense. Dick Cheney is a trusted friend, an advisor, and I'm convinced that he's going to be a great leader of our nation's military forces. And now I'd like to ask him to say a few words, and then he and I will be glad to respond to a few questions. So, Dick, welcome aboard, and thank you for undertaking this very complicated and difficult assignment. You'll do great.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Obviously, things have moved rather rapidly in the last 24 hours.